Hello, Logan Ranger family. This is going to be our fall sports meeting video. We're not able to meet in person due to COVID right now restrictions, so we're going to send this out and get as much information out to you via video and email as we can. So I'd love to tell you more and give you all of my thoughts and what I think is going to happen, but the honest truth is I just don't know right now. We're doing a lot of planning. We're hoping for the best. Still planning to come back and start fall sports, but we are aligning ourselves with the county health department, and we are doing everything we can to make sure we keep our students and staff safe based on their guidelines. So please be patient with us. I will send out more information as we get it. But for right now, I just want everyone to have the general information with regards to the meeting we do every year. So thank you for taking the time to watch this. This is a requirement for participating in athletics for the 2020-21 school year. So let's get started with our meeting. If you have not met me yet, I am Mr. Gilge, the activities director at Logan High School, and I'm starting my 4th year here. This is a great school to be working at, to be a part of, and as I said earlier, this really is a family. So welcome to the Logan family. If you're an incoming freshman, we're excited to have you. Between myself and Kelly Callister, we make up the activities department, and Mrs. Callister is an awesome person who is super helpful and willing to do whatever it takes to make sure you have the information that you need. She does not work in the summer, so she'll be back in August and can help with lots of different stuff as it regarding physicals and registration questions you might have, those types of things. So just talk to her. Or me. You can email us or call our office if you have any questions. Our athletic trainer is Sue Cabbage. She has been here for, I believe, 28 or 29 years now. Sue's been around for a while and does an awesome job supporting our students and making sure that they have everything needed in terms of athletic training services. So we even got Sue a new ice machine this year, so we should have plenty of ice for everybody. We're all excited about that. Got to be excited about the little things right now. Some things to consider. Participation in co-curricular activities is a privilege. It's not something that you just get to do and not experience any consequences if you make mistakes. So please keep that in mind. It's something that can be taken away. It's something that we take very seriously, but in a fun way. We're here to build each other up, to have fun, to be a part of a team, to grow, to win, hopefully. But all of that is in a big package that doesn't just get handed to you and you get to do whatever you want with it. It's a privilege. So I hope now more than ever you realize what a privilege it is. We've had everything ripped away from us for the last 4 or 5 months, and we don't know what that's going to look like for this fall. So if there's ever been a time where you understand how privileged we are as American people just to have, the education that we have, the sports that we have, just the different things going on, it's really something that's hit me. So I hope you realize that, how fortunate we are to be a part of Logan High School, and we hope to get back to running things as normal as possible, as soon as possible. Another thing to consider is the me or we concept. As you can see here, sports are it's a positive thing. It's a team experience. It's about the group. And when you focus in on the group, you tend to have a better individual experience. So please keep that in mind when you set your goals, when you set your thoughts and what you want to accomplish as a team. The team concept is what we want to shoot for here at Logan High School. So we really genuinely believe that is what is going to lead us to the most success and allow everybody to learn the most and have the most fun. Registration. So now let's get into some of the nitty-gritty stuff here. That is the link. It's also included in the email I sent. Registration is done online. If you did this last year in middle school or high school through the La Crosse School District, you already have an account set up. So use that account, log into that account, all of your information is saved. All you need to do is click on Logan High School, because you're now registering for Logan High School if you're coming from a different middle school, and complete that registration. Your name should be filled in, your address, your medical information. If anything's changed, feel free to change it. But if it hasn't, you can just skip it and just select the sports you're going to do and fill it out. It really should take you like 30 seconds to a minute to complete that if you have your information saved. If this is your first time doing it, it might take you a little bit longer, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, but it's still a pretty easy process. So you can find that link on the Logan website. It's right here. It's in the email. If you have any issues with that, feel free to reach out to me. I can help you. You can see on there I already made a mistake. I didn't update that date, but that should say 4/1/2019. Okay, so you cannot practice unless you've registered and turned in a physical that is up to date. So if you have a question about whether your physical is up to date or not, you can email me and I will get you that information. But that should say April 1st, 2019. 2019, not 18. That's my mistake. WIA eligibility. You can read through this real quick. Feel free to pause the video, but basically it can be kind of confusing. If you're new to Logan High School and you're an upperclassman, sophomore, junior, or senior, just come talk to me and we can square that away and make sure that you're eligible for varsity athletics. Always Rangers. This is, as you can see on my shirt, our new motto, tagline, where we're going as an athletic activities department. And we want to embrace this idea that we are together, working hard in all aspects of life towards one purpose, one goal as the Logan family. So as you can see here, what does this mean? Always. We're constantly working, making ourselves better in the classroom, on the field or court or wherever, whatever sport we're a part of. We're always training to become the best version of ourselves. And that is something that I hope you've really taken to heart and continued to work on here over the last several months, where it's been really challenging to get into a gym or to get together with classmates and teammates. Rangers, I mentioned this several times, but Logan High School is a family. It's truly a different place. I've worked at lots of high schools. I think at 8 different high schools I've coached or taught at. And this place is different. It's special, and it's a really beautiful place, and I'm super thrilled to be a part of it. So we need to look out for each other, love each other, support each other, serve each other. And when we do those things, we create really awesome teams that can do some beautiful things. So just think about that concept. How are you continuously working to make yourself better as a person, to lift your teammates up, and to make our Logan family a better place all around, in the classroom, in the hallways? It doesn't matter. You should always be striving to be the best version of yourself. So that's what we want to promote. That's what we mean by Always Rangers. And you're going to see this plastered all over the place. You're going to see it in our weight room. We put a new mural up. You're going to see it on our field, by the track. You're going to see it. We're posting this everywhere because we believe in it, and our coaches really believe in this concept. And we've worked hard over the last couple of years to do some professional development to grow as people and to help encourage you as student athletes. So it's a good start, but we got a long ways to go. So step into that with us and embrace it. Things parents should know. Okay, so another tagline I've used in the past is "Live like a champion," and basically that concept just means it's the same thing. It was easy to kind of flip over and start saying Always Rangers. It's the same concept. We're trying to do the best we can at all times in all aspects of life. So parents, things to consider here: support your child, but never at the expense of another student. Monitor your child's social life. Ensure they're on the right path. That's a big one. Social media, obviously included in that, but then just who your kids are interacting with, what they're doing. Just have conversations. The only way we can grow and connect and figure out what's going on in each other's lives is to talk and just to be honest with each other. And that's something I've learned a lot over the years and really enjoy doing. Make academics a focal point, and that could be a big challenge. Facing us this school year. Obviously, spring was a lot different, being totally online. We don't know what the fall is going to look like yet, but how can you really dig in and support your child regardless of whether we're at school every day, halftime, not at all? We just don't know what's going to happen yet. So think about how you can support your students in that. And then respect your coach's authority, and don't discuss things like playing time, team strategies, other members of the team, unless it involves bullying or hazing. As you can see, there's an appropriate time to talk about some of these issues. Just make sure that you're focusing in on that and finding appropriate times to do so, as we don't want our coaches to be put in a spot where just a tough spot where they have to they're getting talked to right after a game, right after a tough loss. Please respect coaches, and if you need to talk to coaches, they want to talk to you and communicate with you. I know that's the heart of our coaches, but we want to do that in appropriate ways. So a lot of them set some standards and expectations to that. Please be respectful of their requests. Hazing, just briefly talking this because it's something that's important, but it's also something that I feel we've done a really good job of not having around our school. I personally have been really impressed with how our seniors have taken leadership the last couple of years and really pushed this type of leadership away and embraced more of that servant leadership aspect. So hazing is just anything you're trying to embarrass somebody. Public ridicule. It could be physical. It could be emotional. Some of the biggest hazing we see again is with social media stuff. So be cognizant of that. Be careful about what you're saying online, and do everything you can to lift people up and never put people down. If there's any hint of this going on within a team or within an individual, you're immediately going to be talking to me. We're going to investigate it, and we're going to take care of it. I don't know what else to say about that. It's not going to be tolerated. And if you're taking the opportunity to put down your teammates, it's probably showing that you don't need to be a part of our activities department anymore. So lead by example. Transportation. Again, we'll be working all of this out. We don't know how things are going to go this fall, but in a typical year, students all get on the bus and ride to away events together. And then on the way home, parents, you can sign them out if you're there and take them with you. And that's just a slip you can sign after the game. If there's anything other than that happening, if they have to go home with a friend, with another adult, that all needs to be cleared ahead of time. So please contact me if there's an extenuating circumstance where they have to go home, they cannot ride the bus for whatever reason, and you can't take them. That needs to get cleared ahead of time. Otherwise, they should be taking the bus home or riding with you, and you'll sign them out. Sportsmanship. I've included a YouTube link on there. That is just about officials. It was a video clip from a couple years ago on a news station, and just showing how the absolute ridiculousness that some parents take to get after officials and get after other fans, get in fights, and just really crazy stuff. I think we do a great job. I'm really proud of our fans and our parents. I've been impressed over the last 3 years. I think we handle ourselves well and are very respectful. But always remember that, we need to respect officials. They are the authority figure in that situation, even if they're dead wrong. Because I've seen it. I've seen officials be dead wrong. We all have. But people make mistakes. And ultimately, these officials are giving tons of time and effort and energy to try and make high school sports a thing that can even happen. So we need to be respectful of them. And if there's a serious issue, trust me, I will be taking care of it, and that's my job as the activities director to step in and talk to that official, or to not hire them again if they're making just horrible calls that are not fair. And but again, please talk to me if there's something egregious that you see going on. But otherwise, we need to respect officials, especially at the lower level, freshmen, JV, varsity reserve. Sometimes we are just scraping to get somebody there so we can play the game. Especially, if it relates to soccer or a sport where we don't have a ton of officials. And the last thing we want to do is berate that person and make, some young 21-year-old college kid who's just trying to help out and makes a mistake, and then we get after them because they called an offsides, and it wasn't legit. Give them grace, and let's just work through that and support those people because they need our help. And we need good officials, and the only way to get good officials is to keep people around for years so they can learn. Social media. This is for athletes and parents. Just be super, super cognizant about what you're putting online. Be courteous, be kind online. Only post positive things. There's just no room for negativity. This is the most negative time that I can remember, and I haven't been alive that long. Excuse me. But there's just so much negativity out there, and just every headline seems to be negative. Every post seems to be about people putting other people down. So just think about how you can lift others up, how you can be a positive influence, And if you have a legitimate gripe against somebody, if you have a legitimate, just frustration with something, talk to the person, talk to them. It's that simple. Okay, that's what fixes problems, is people talking to people when they have problems with each other, and doing that in the calmest way possible, and working through that problem. Jumping online and giving some cryptic post about a coach or an official or an administrator who's doing something you disagree with doesn't solve any problems. And if you need to gripe to somebody, just talk. Like, I do that. That's okay. Like, I gripe. Sometimes I just gripe to my wife when I come home from work about something that happened, and then I get it off my chest and I feel a lot better. So do that instead of using social media as a place to gripe. And if you have a legitimate concern, talk about it. Communicate. That's what fixes problems. Chain of communication, chain of command. If you're the student and you got a problem, go right to your direct coach. If you're a freshman, go talk to your freshman coach. If you feel really uncomfortable with that, it's okay to have your parents with. But I think it shows a lot of maturity when a student can just talk to a coach and try to solve that problem. And if it doesn't get solved, that's okay. You have another step. You can go, again, with your parent to that coach. You can go to the head coach, to the varsity coach of the program, talk to them and work through it. If that can't solve it, if you've done those things already, I'm willing to get involved. That's okay. I have no problem having conversations with families and the coach, but it's always going to be myself and the student and parent and coach. I'm not going to sit with just you as a parent and try to hash things out when the coach isn't there. We need to all communicate together. And then if that doesn't get solved, we'll bring Mr. Genevico in, and he can fix it for us. But in seriousness, we do have a line there, and if we get to that point, Mr. Genevico is super willing to come in and help, and we can continue on from there. And if the issue is even bigger, athletic passes. Again, we don't have any clue how this is going to work out this fall. We're hoping to play sports. Maybe we'll have sports and no fans. Maybe we'll have fans or we don't know. But if we do allow fans in this fall, prices have not changed at all. So you can see if you're a student, you can get in for $20. That is all year. You buy that pass, you get a sticker on your ID, and you can come to any lacrosse school district event, so Central or Logan, with that sticker on your ID. Adults, you can buy a card that'll get you into 10 events for $45. That basically saves you $5 from paying every time. And then a family, you can buy a pass for the year for $150. And we typically sell these at registration. We do you can just walk into the activities office when we're open and get these. So we can take care of those later in August. Grades. We are continuing on with what we have had in the past. If you have 2 Fs from the past year, so coming into fall, we look at your spring grades. So those of you who failed 2 or more classes in the spring, you're going to be held accountable for that, and you're going to be missing some time here in the fall. Now, if you took summer recovery classes and passed those and made up for your failures, you're going to be okay. But if you had 3 failures in the spring and you only recovered 1 of them, you're still going to be ineligible to start the fall season. So that's just a quick overview of how the grading works and eligibility for fall. And incoming freshmen, you're exempt right now. So even if you had a rough end of your 8th grade year, you're exempt. You're coming in clean, and we want to give you an opportunity to participate right away, but you will be held accountable at the end of first quarter. You can see there it's 21 consecutive calendar days. So once we get rolling with the start of your sport, and all of them are different, it's 21 consecutive calendar days if you're under the ineligibility rules. Code violations, real quick here. You can see first offense, if you get busted for breaking one of our code violations involving drugs or alcohol, it's half your season. You can reduce that to 20% if you complete a class, and you can reduce it again with a self-referral. That would be directly to me or another administrator. Before any knowledge of the incident comes out, you would just take the ownership of that and refer. So second offense you can see is 100%, and then third offense is 1 full calendar year from the date of the offense. Big thing here is you're promising, you're stepping in, you're checking boxes on online registration saying, I'm going to abide by this. I'm not going to I'm not going to use drugs or alcohol. And does that mean anything to you or not? I'm not here to tell you, thoughts or feelings about, any of this. And my only thing on this is we're telling you can't use it. You're saying you want to be a student athlete here. Have some integrity and mean that. Okay, have some integrity. Stand up and say, I'm not going to use drugs or alcohol. I'm not going to vape. Obviously, vaping is still an issue. I'm not going to do that because I promised that I won't, and I want to play and be a good teammate. So, really, as simple as that. If you get caught with just tobacco, and this doesn't include vaping anymore, vaping's now with drugs and alcohol, and in my mind, so you're going to be sitting a lot more because we're so sick of vaping. So if you just were caught with a tobacco product, it would be one event for every time you were caught. If you are at a gathering, so if you go to a party and somebody pulls out beer, you need to leave immediately. Get yourself out of there. But if you don't, you stay there and you get caught, even if you weren't drinking or using drugs, it's a 1-game suspension, and that just is going to happen every time you're caught at an event like that. PEDs, so WIA has a list on their website of banned substances like, steroids and different things like that. But I would just encourage you to think about what you're putting in your body. I don't think a lot of us are really tempted to use steroids, to be honest. I don't think that's a huge issue at Logan High School, but I do think there's things in energy drinks and some different supplements that some students take that may not be the healthiest for you. So parents, if you know your child wants to use some kind of whey protein or creatine or things like that, check out the WIA website, because it actually will show that some of those items are banned. They're a banned substance, and that would be the same as using drugs or alcohol if a student is using those, and we have knowledge of that. On the other hand, again, like I mentioned, whey protein, that's discouraged by the WIA. We're certainly, as a school, not going to encourage anyone to take it, but it's not banned. It's not illegal. And I would just talk as a family about whether you're okay with your child taking that, as a supplement after they work out. So again, that resource is on the WIA website, and you can see that for yourselves. What's on the banned list, we would treat like drugs and alcohol suspension. Discouraged list is a family decision. And again, those might be things like whey protein, which you can make your own decision on, but we as a district are not going to encourage or promote that. We ask families to talk through that. School attendance, you need to be here and when you're supposed to be, and if you're not and you're unexcused, you're going to be missing some events. So we have gotten better at this over the 3 years I've been here, and we do everything we can to check on attendance and hold students accountable for that. And if you are missing school, even if it's one period and it's unexcused, by our code, you're supposed to be sitting the next game. So keep that in mind. Don't be skipping classes, especially this year if we have any kind of different schedule going on. You need to be there as much as you can to get the content and to be locked in and stay academically eligible and do the best you can. So just recognize that and know that if you're skipping and unexcused, you're going to be held accountable for athletics as well. You have to be here at least half the day. So let's say you were sick first through sixth period, and then you came for seventh and eighth, and you want to play the game that night. You can't. Okay, even though that's excused, you have to be here at least half the day. And if there's extenuating circumstances with that, you have to go to a funeral. There's some kind of family situation going on. Talk to me. We can get special clearance for that. But just in general, if you have an appointment, you got things going on, and you miss more than half the day, you cannot play or practice. You're supposed to just go home at the end of the day. In-season conflicts is the last thing. This is just saying you can't be involved in basketball on the basketball team and AAU basketball at the same time. That's a WIA violation. You would actually be suspended and done. You wouldn't be able to play anymore, and our team could actually get in trouble. So if you are doing another activity during your season, first of all, it needs to be talked about with your coach and your parents, and they need approval. So let's say you were involved in soccer, boys soccer this fall, but then you also did a traveling basketball team in the fall. That is okay per the rules, but your coach needs to approve it. Your parents need to approve it. You need to talk and work out that schedule. And this does happen at times with different sports. So communicate with your coach. Our activities take the priority in our mind. So whatever that coach is saying you can do, please be respectful of that and work with them as we see, Logan High School and our academics and our athletics as the top priority in your life since you are our student in terms of activities. So your top priority, again, just from our perspective, is take care of your academics, make sure you're at school, and then get involved and be the best teammate that you can. Okay. So if you have any questions, again, you can email me. If you need to look up, what your physical is, I can check that out for you and let you know if you need a new physical or not, and we can go from there. But make sure you register, make sure you have a physical up to date, and we will continue to send out information in terms of summer training, sports starting on time or not on time. We will get all of that to you, but just know we're relying heavily on the county guidelines, and those can change from week to week. So we're sitting here wondering just as much as you are about the possibilities of what will happen this fall. I'm optimistic, but again, I just don't know, and I will keep everyone up to date. So make sure you stay in contact with your coach and talk to them, and they'll be a great resource for you, regardless of what's going on. Just encourage you and to help you get workouts and things that you need. So I hope everyone's able to enjoy their summer so far and enjoy the rest of it, and we look forward to seeing everybody soon and getting back together and working out and starting sports hopefully this fall. Thanks, everybody.